What is up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to another video where I'm going to be taking you through an Ultra League Premier team that has helped me climb to 3,500 elo, and you're going to see it all in this video. 4 consecutive sets of battles, nothing cut or edited, just 4 consecutive sets in the Go Battle League with the team of Escavalier, Alolan Muck, and Shadow Dragonite. It is a longer video once again, probably like 36 to 40 minutes or so feel free to pause the video, grab a snack, sit back, relax, and enjoy. But without further ado, here we go. And this team, I literally just thought of on the spot at the end of one of my recent streams. I was like, let's make a new team. We built these 3, and so far, they've been putting in some work. Our first battle, we lead against the Surfetch, which is actually a negative matchup for our Escavalier. However, our opponents swapped, almost like they're trying to lure something out. So they draw out our Muck. I do commit a shield because they did build up to a potential Focus Blast. I do make a mistake here by CMP tying when I lose CMP, and now I have to unnecessarily eat the Shadow Ball first. So what I end up doing here is doing a slight undercharge, which is going to allow me to Poison Jab down here. And I know that this is just a Shadow Punch, and I know that I live a Shadow Punch. And here's where Sludge Wave comes in handy. I'm spamming my Sludge Wave for the Surfetch. They typically don't expect it. Boom! Look at that damage. They typically don't expect it if you are running Poison Jab, right? If you're running Poison Jab, they expect you to be running Acid Spray Dark Pulse. They do not usually expect it. I'm in a tough spot here, and I'm gonna try and call the bait here, and I'm able to call the Seed Bomb, and this is gonna put us in a much better position. I know this is probably a Seed Bomb, but I shield it anyway, and I want to just get this last shield off of the Trevenant, because if I get this last shield off it, I should be in a good spot, because we actually get the Dragon Breath down, and Surfetched surrenders, because unless it had like Brave Bird or something, it was not going to be able to take out our Escav. Here we are against a Frostlass, which you don't see too often in the Ultra League, but a cool pick. XL Frostlass. My buddy 2O Butters runs this from time to time, I know. So like we are both resisting each other's fast moves, but Frostlass has access to Shadow Ball, which is going to hit harder than Drill Run. But also my Escav just has like a higher CP, right? So you would think I have maybe a higher stat product here. I'm not positive on that. Another move coming through. It's a Shadow Ball. I'm going to eat it. And check out. It ends up being a simultaneous knockout. And now it's just a guessing game. The fact that we got rid of it for Dragonite is pretty good. So I decided to come in with Dragonite, and I'm met by Miltank. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just super power and dip here, guarantee the shield, and then I'll have shields down for Muck. I come in Muck, and I'm met by a Skunk. Muck versus Skunk. So a bit of an awkward matchup, right? Because we know that Miltank has energy. So I actually do something unique here. And you're going to see it. I eat the Flamethrower. I have my Dark Pulse, but I'm actually not throwing it. Why am I not throwing my move? Because if I throw my move, I give the Miltank a farm down. By letting my Muck go down, I'm going to farm down with my Dragonite, and Miltank gets no extra energy, and I just go for the superpower right away. I assumed it would KO. I got a little worried, like, crap, what if this doesn't KO? But bang, it does. And we take out the Miltank for a nice win. So a couple of cheeky wins to start, and you're going to see some more of those to come. Some like really cool battles in these 4 sets with this team. Escav into A9. In comes Gengar. So this is very good for us. Going to throw my Dark Pulse right away. This was not enough for a Focus Blast. I think he was 1 short. So I do call it, and it's a Shadow Ball. You're going to see me do a slight undercharge this time. Not as much as I undercharged last time, so it only gives me 1 extra jab, but that's still kind of nice. And then surprisingly, the A9 comes in. And is the A9 going to respect the Sludge Wave? Are they going to respect the Sludge Wave? A-Muck versus A9. Bye-bye. Go away, A9. And then we're in a good spot here. I come in to do some Dragon Breath damage with my Dragonite, and then I catch on my Escav. Ends up being a Bubble Beam bait anyway. So now Escav is locked here in a horrendous matchup, but it's not the end of the world, because all we want to do here with Escav is do some chip damage and save both of our shields for Dragonite. There's no way I'm going to commit a shield here to my Escav. That would be a potential lose condition, because as long as we save shields for Dragonite, we'll probably be able to Dragon Breath down in the end of this. I throw in poor timing there, but once again, like, I'm just trying to get off damage, I actually get a shield there, and we pretty much have a Dragon Claw banked, so we're in a good looking spot here. They actually undercharge the Shadow Ball, so I swap out to avoid being farmed down. I don't think this was even enough energy for Shadow Ball. Maybe it was, but I just shield to be safe. We've got the double Dragon Claw, and I don't think we're quite in Shadow Ball range either. And then we just superpower for funsies. Always superpower the ghost type when you can. If you're still going to win the game, that is. And we get another win. Is that a 3-0 start? I think it might be. Galv, okay. Tough lead. I end up swapping into my A-Muck. But maybe I should have just stayed in. I don't remember if I win this. I just remember this Galv gave me a ton of problems. Go for the Dark Pulse here. This is where having like an Acid Spray bait would be more handy. I grab a shield. I shield again, and then check this out. He was still one away from lunge, so I'm like, what the heck? This has to be a cross poison. It's a freaking cross poison. And I didn't get my move off like a silly goose. He gets to another cross poison here with 1 HP. And cross poison isn't like that bad of a move. He actually got the unnecessary boost. And now this is looking tough. This is looking tough because this Mandibuzz is just so bulky. And it does fairly well against both of our remaining Pokemon. It would have been nice to have our Muck here, but now Escav versus Jelly. And it looks like I'm going to play it out just in case I can pull off some shenanigans, but this is looking like a one-sided affair for our opponent this time. Someone in the comments has already commented, yeah, Rise, you got hard countered. It's your karma for superpowering the Jellicent in the last game. Now the Jellicent's going to beat you. So yeah, this Jelly has so much energy, right? The Mandibuzz also has a move banked. So I just decide to concede here and let the move go through. And that is a GG. The team is not invincible. No team is. And now we get a terrific lead against Abomasnow. We're met by a Machamp. I swap in Dragonite. This is kind of awkward though, right? Because Machamp can draw shields here. So I could potentially be down a shield and then get farmed down by Abomasnow. I eventually throw my Claw, farming up a little bit extra just to make sure I can get a move off on Abomasnow. So I'm expecting the Abomasnow to shield once and Powder Snow me down here. I just go for the Superpower. I'm only going to get to one move, obviously. Superpower going through. Bang! One-shots the Abomasnow. And then check this out. Politoed with 2 shields and an insane amount of energy. And this game actually ends up being crazy. The opponent made the right play, I think, by letting their Abomasnow go since there was an Escav waiting for it. They land the EQ on my Muck. And I'm like, holy guacamole. I think my counters are going to do more. So I think I just saved 2 shields for Escav. And then check out how this plays out. I don't think I'm going to reach 3 drill runs before I go down. So I'm literally going to just completely commit to fast moves here. Completely committing to fast moves. I also called that Weather Ball. I'm calling another Weather Ball. And will the counters KO first? They will. And we counter down the Politoed. The opponent didn't have a chance to use a shield after the second Pokemon went down. And a pretty crazy win there. I was pretty happy with that one as well, because I was able to call 2 Weather Balls and just commit to the counter down. I needed to do both of those things to win that game. And then here we are against Ventusky. This one, if I remember correctly, was pretty brutal. I swapped Dragonite. He swaps a freaking Galarian Weezing. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh man. This is tough. I just literally like sacrifice. I should have thrown my superpower, obviously. That was kind of dumb of me, but in my mind, I was like, I don't see any way I win this game. I should have thrown that superpower though, because check out what happens here. I throw the Drill Run, and it doesn't KO. And if I had just thrown my stinking superpower, I would have only had to commit 1 shield here instead of 2. And then I snipe with Muck to get a head start. And what's in back? It's a Pidgeot, and I'm like, no, I can't beat the Pidgeot and the Jelly. So tough one there. If I had swapped my Muck, that probably was my only win con. As soon as I swapped the Dragonite, that was a mistake. And that's something that's kind of a call, right? It's like it's a call because, by the way, Lyle going straight for the superpower. People, I feel like, almost always bait here. So, nice job by him going for the superpower. And then, oh yeah, I was gonna say, normally you want to swap in like your soft counter, right? So if I lead my Escav into a Jellicent and I have a Dragonite, that's my soft counter. Muck is my hard counter. However, Dragonite is just not very safe as a swap since it gets really hard countered, specifically by fairies and ice types. So even if there's a Jellicent, I think Muck is still the better swap just because it's safer. So if you guys decide to use this team yourselves, I would recommend swapping Muck in that situation. I shield to save the Dark Pulse, and then I swap in my Dragonite. Their own Dragonite gets to a move, unfortunately. Have to shield, of course. This would probably knock out. And there's a G-Fiskin back. And at this point, I'm like, see you later. I think that game was winnable if I just, like, made different shield calls. Like, if I shielded the superpower, he's immediately in a bad spot. Essentially, his back was weak to Escav, but he got rid of the Escav in the lead. So essentially, I would have needed to preserve my Escav in the back to have a chance to win that game. In this one, we lead against the Scrafty. There's a Jellicent here with Ice Beam. So, with Ice Beam, so a little bit safer against the Muck here. I'm already down a shield, so I really don't want to commit another shield. And if I lose Switch, it's not the end of the world, right? Because both my Dragonite and my Escav can handle Scrafty. I get myself as low as possible in case he lets it go. I don't get farmed down. But he actually commits a shield. I think he's still 2 bubbles away from an Ice Beam. So I commit to the farm down, which is nice. Don't have to commit a shield. And the Scrafty comes back. I throw my Dragon Claw here. I think it might be enough from this range. Dragon Claw lands, takes it out, and there's a Talonflame in back. Dude, poor Escav had nowhere to go in the back. So it made sense that our opponent swapped. But Dragonite, a really comfortable matchup here against Talonflame. They're going to throw a move, but they're still 1 Incinerate away from their next move, so this should be over. And our Dragon Breaths KO, and I think like 3 Dragon Breaths that KO'd, so. G to the G. Trainer. Next one. Another Scrafty. I saw a lot of Scrafty teams, and that's also one thing that inspired me to start running this team was quite a few Scrafty leads, and I forget what I was running before. I was running Kanto Muck lead, which does fine against Scrafty, but not great, because 2 foul plays KOs. We get a shield, and then they catch, since I went back to back as they would have thrown the foul play. They catch, which is a nice catch, but it also gives us switch advantage, so this is good. Because we can lock in a really comfortable matchup here with our Alolan Muck. Get bubble beamed. Gonna throw the Dark Pulse. No reason to undercharge, right? This isn't gonna KO. So full damage, and now I'm just gonna try and go for a massive farm down, a massive poison jab down with these resisted poison jabs. Ghost resisting poison. I keep getting bubble beamed. Jellicent is just trying to annoy me. Throwing bubble beams at me. I go for the Sludge Wave here. I do not anticipate this to be shielded. And look at this. Because of all the debuffs, the Scrafty hangs on with 1 HP. Unbelievable. Scrafty hangs on. I'm going to stay in for now just to see what comes in. I don't want to lock myself into something bad. And it's Nidoqueen. This is a little bit scary. But I know I could live a Poison Fang there, so that's why I immediately swapped into Escav. I'm hoping Nidoqueen can't fully farm me down here. And eventually they do throw a Poison Fang. And now here's what I'm thinking, right? This Nidoqueen has a ton of extra energy. So how do I win this game? I'm going to come back in with my Muck. And I'm going to sack it here. They have to expend an Earth Power here to take me out. And they bait. And now I know they're going to try and catch. So I wait a second. And I jab down. And I get off the Dark Pulse. So just really nice patience there. To not fall for the catch. The catch could have been costly, right? Because the Nidoqueen would have been really healthy here. And might have been able to win the game. Because you're going to see it gets off 2 fangs. And puts me low to the point where I probably faint to like 5 jabs or so. So, yeah. Good game there. And now we've got Bastille. He's from Chile. Another Nidoqueen lead. Gonna CMP tie our opponent here on the potential Earth Power. And I land it. And I'm like, okay, he's so low, there's no point. He's not gonna bait me. So I shield and he friggin' baits me. And I'm like, oh crap. And now I'm concerned that it's double charm. If it's double charm, I think I just lose. This team is actually, it's really tough to play double charm with this team. Because Escav, even though it's a steel type, it's also a fighter. So it like soft wins against most charmers. Ends up being a Scraftian back. Okay. Ends up being a Scraftian back. They go straight for the pup. What do I decide to do here? I come in with Dragonite. Oh, and I think I end up making a call here. I no shield and I call the pup bait. This was just one of those days where we were able to make some nice calls. I shield again, but remember his Nidoqueen is so low at this point. We can just Dragon Breath everything down. So another game where we're just committing to fast moves in the end. Throwing charge moves would just be unnecessary at that point, since we'd just be giving them free turns, free fast move damage. Catch a nice little Umbreon as a reward. And that's 2 sets down, 2 to go. Let's see, that put us at 34-51. Very nice. And here we go. Escav into Swampert. This is a pretty neutral matchup. This might have been against Pranav, this game. I go for the Drill Run bait. I get it. I'm going to no shield here, calling that he goes for Hydro rather than Earthquake. I take the Hydro. I commit the shield. And what I'm going to try and do here is CMP tie him on his next move. So I throw the Mega Horn. I don't know if Drill Run would have been enough from here. Probably would have like barely lived. In comes Snorlax. And my Muck is a little bit better here. Snorlax's going to get off a move really nicely before my Dark Pulse, and then it's a Shadow Nidoqueen in the back. These things are so menacing. So it's at 2 jabs, and I really wasn't sure how to play this one out. I swap in Dragonite 3, 4, 5, and you're going to see me make a critical mistake here. I shield 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I settle. I go for the claw. I had to commit to the farm down here. It was the only way to win. Once I throw that claw, the game is over because Snorlax still has a shield and my muck is low. So it was a misplay for sure. And those ones are tough for me to get over because not only did I misplay by I probably could have farmed down the Nidoqueen, but I didn't play out my win condition, which is even worse. Like, it's one thing to make a mistake, but I should have been able to recognize there, like, I can't throw the claw. I can't. Even if, let's say the Nidoqueen gets to another move, okay, I lose anyway. But I can't throw the claw there because then I'm just guaranteeing I lose. Like, I needed to commit to the farm down. That's the only way I win. So that was a pretty bad throw, in my opinion, by me. Just wasn't thinking straight. Shadow Ball. Able to tank it, and my opponent here looks like they're willing to go down 2 shields to take back switch advantage, and this is like okay with me because we know it's a Scrafty, right? I think it was a Scrafty in the lead, so like even if I lose switch, my Dragonite can handle Scrafty. I shield the Shadow Ball, Dragon Breath down. What's going to come in? It's a Drapion. I get a little bit risky here, to be honest. I probably should have thrown because they actually are running Sludge Bomb and it nearly takes me out. Like, imagine if that had taken me out. That would have been pretty terrible. But we get off the superpower. We swap Escav. And I'm just going to let this go because a Crunch debuff would make the foul play do more damage. But now my opponent can actually just commit to Power-Up Punch to boost their fast move damage. I wait to the last second, do as much counter damage as possible, and then I get off my Mega Horn. Will this be enough? Not quite, but we have the Claw banked. So an incredibly close game here. Wow, that was crazy. Dancing around, lots of charge moves. That was a wild one for sure. Good lead here against the Umbreon, and I lose. I've lost this game, which I later found out, like, I need to play this differently, because as soon as I swap here, it's Double Charm, and now I just lose because my Dragonite can't handle the back. So yeah, this is annoying. I think the only thing I could do to win this game would perhaps be stay in against the Granbull with my Escav. Stay in with the Granbull against my Escav and then swap later. I don't know, man. I don't know if I can realistically beat Double Charm. I don't know if I can realistically beat Double Charm because the Granbull can just 2-shield its way through Escav if it wants to. And then my opponent takes switch advantage. Yeah, I don't know if I can beat Double Charm. It's really annoying. Gonna go for Double Drill Run here. But, yeah, this is over. Double Charm too strong. And as Rise begins to get flustered over the annoyingness of Double Charm, check out what happens. We play Double Charm again, dude. We play Double Charm again, and I should have stayed in with my dang Escav. Rise didn't learn his lesson. Rise did not learn his lesson. I farm all the way down, expecting the Empoleon to come in. One jab and throw. I've got double Dark Pulse. Bang. Another Dark Pulse. Bang. Oh boy. What could be in back? As my microphone falls. It's a Togekiss. I lose. So once again, the only thing I could have done would have been stay in with my Escav against the Sheesh. And hopefully beat the Sylveon. But once again, I don't know if Escav can win that in the 2-shield scenario. I feel like Sylveon might be able to just charm its way through. We got a terrific lead this time against the Walrein. They swapped Drapion, which is still pretty good for us. The thing is, my back line does not appreciate Walrein, so I do want to swap out of here eventually and preserve my Escav. So what I decided to do is I catch this move on my Muck, which is like good and bad, right? I take the move, the resisted move, but now I give up switch advantage. So it's a little bit awkward. And I figure at this point, my opponent knows there's an Escav waiting, so they're probably not going to shield their Walrein. So I go for the Sludge Wave. Bang! Some big damage. I thought this might be an Earthquake, but I figured, like, if I get rid of the Walrein, 2-shield Dragonite is probably going to be good in the back. So that's why I decide to let my Muck go here. Come in with Escav. And it's a Machamp, a Shadow Machamp. So we're just going to get the shield off of it here. And then up a shield, Dragonite should be smooth sailing. And our opponent top lefts. So that is a G to the G. Trainer. Looks like that was a 2-3 set. 2-3 set. So we did get one negative set. And now we're on to the last one. And here we are into a Trevenant. A terrible lead, but we're going to save swap our Muck. And that's something I learned over the course of using this team. Is Trevenant or Jelly. I save swap Muck in order just to have like a safer swap. Because Dragonite can do fine against Trevenant as well. With that oppressive dragon breath damage. This is, by the way, against Pokemango. Fellow streamer. Amazing battler. We take the Dark Pulse. I go for a Sludge Wave here. Puts him low. He goes for a move. I think this might just be an Acid Spray, so I actually decide to take it. And I'm just going to hard swap into Dragonite, because I'm going to lose switch there anyway. I was going to get jabbed down first, so I might as well switch out first. And now we're here against Snorlax, and this is good, because Snorlax... It's Shadow, so our Dragon Claw is going to do a lot, and we're ahead energy. So we can get off our move first. Or get off like both of our moves first, if that makes sense. I throw back to back here, and now he has a tough decision to make. And he shields, and once he shields, I know I can let this go. Because the Trevenant had been chipped into near Megahorn range. So I know I'm in a good spot here. I tried to catch. For some reason, I like overtapped or something. We shield the Shadow Ball. We do some extra counters just for good measure here. So we have energy for the Snorlax. Bang. Pretty sure Snorlax was dried, but better safe than sorry. And we get to the Drill Run. Ka-chow. Bye-bye, Snorlax. So a nice win there, overcoming a tough lead, but in Mango's defense, he didn't really have a good answer to our Muck safe swap, so... Another positive lead here against Walrein, and comes Sirfetch'd. Check this game out. This is insane, dude. This is a good example of when things are just going your way overall. So I probably should have swapped my Dragonite. I take the Brave Bird. I throw my move. And my opponent lets it go. They let it go. And I retain Switch. And not only do I retain Switch, but I give him very minimal farm. I come in right away. And he top lefts. So just a picture perfect game. Like, things could not have gone better. Oh my gosh. Next opponent is Zappa. Another tough lead against the Trevenant. We safe swap our Muck. In comes Walrein. I'm like, okay, this is good, right? Because our Dragonite is now avoiding the Walrein. So maybe, or hopefully, our Dragonite's going to have a lot of play against the remainder of the team. I land the Sludge Wave. This is always such a tough call. They normally go straight for the Earthquake, but I do call this one. And And I'm like, ugh, this is so tough. I let it go again, and they do Earthquake me, so a nice job by them. This is kind of awkward. I end up CMPing him on the Mega Horn, so this should grab a shield. Or do a lot of damage. It grabs the shield, it's a CMP, and I decide, you know what, I'm just going to put this all on Dragonite here. 2 shield Dragonite. See what we can do. We swap in. What's in back? They're not swapping, so that could be a good sign. I throw my Dragon Claw. This would nearly KO. And it's a Snorlax. And with 2 shields, I think I can safely... I don't even need to go for Superpower. I can safely just Dragon Claw here. Because Shadow on Shadow, the damage is just so oppressive. Like, by this point, right, my Dragon Claw would nearly KO. But I'm just going to go for Superpower here to be safe, so I don't have to take any residual lick damage. Superpower, bang. We still have a shield. And we take down the Trev. Let's go, dude. Let's go, dude. Some really nice wins. Obviously, we've gotten lots of good leads, but we've also overcome lots of bad leads. And here is another Trevenant lead against House Stark. One of the best battlers in the world. He swaps in Talonflame. Which is interesting. I decide I'm going to overfarm here a lot. End up CMP tying him. I doubt he's going to go for a Brave Bird here. So I'm able to make that call, which is pretty good for me. I go for a Dark Pulse here. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? I can take back Switch and potentially get Dragonite on Trev. So I'm going to go for it. I'm going to jab all the way down. I think Stark might be thinking he could just put 2 shields on Trev and go to work. So I actually go for the Sludge Wave here. Not sure if this was the right play because it looks like I could have got to 2 Dark Pulses. But I land the Sludge. I hard swap Dragonite. Check this out. I take the Dragon Claw because I know I want to save it for a Shadow Ball. And then Stark makes a mistake here. He Seed Bombs. And I live it. I live it. If Stark had just shielded once and committed to the Shadow Claw down, I'm pretty sure he wins this game. But he wasted a little bit of energy there, which is going to be pivotal for us. So I'm going to respect the Shadow Ball here with the Escav. We do get outpaced is the problem. We do get outpaced. It's 8 for counters for us to get to Mega Horn. It's only 7 for him to get to Shadow Ball. So I Drill Run Bait here. I swap Muck. And I don't throw my move because I can counter down and come out with the Mega Horn. And we get the CMP our way. Escav has a very high attack stat. And we're able to get the win there. I was pretty proud of that one. That was another good win. Man, dude, these battles in the 3400s, very sweaty. And here we are. Last battle of the video, I believe. Escav mirror match. This is fine. I do have a higher attack Escav, so I'm usually going to win CMP. We've seen teams in the back that are really weak to Escav, so I do kind of want to preserve it if possible. I go for the Drill Run here. I've got back-to-back. And he lets it go, so in return, I catch the Drill Run on my Dragonite, since I knew he had to throw right away. In comes Gliscor. And this is kind of awkward, right? I can't really shield this, but I don't think... Oh, and he boosts. He boosts, dude. That's brutal. I'm going to get off my Dragon Claw here. Dang Gliscor, man. Boosted Gliscor is giving us nightmares here. I figure if I come in with my Muck, it'll force him to go for his larger energy move, unless he wants to bait. Unfortunately, we lag there, so we actually lose out on a Poison Jab. I am going to throw a Dark Pulse here. You saw me wait a turn. A little bit of concern of the catch. He's out like 5, 6, 7, 8. I go here. He actually gives me free energy. He gives me free energy. In comes Scrafty. I'm hoping I live this pup so I can get off my Mega Horn. I should live this pup. I do. Throw the Mega Horn. I don't think I live this counter, right? So I couldn't have done double drill run. And now I have to commit to the poison jab down to come out with a move. Come on. Come on. We live it. We have the Dark Pulse, and the Gliscor doesn't throw its charge move. And I was so confused at first why, but I think Muck does win CMP, if I'm not mistaken, over Gliscor. So our opponent knew that one wing attack would KO. There was no point in them throwing their charge move because they would lose CMP. At least that's what I believe. I could be wrong about that CMP. Because I was confused for a second. I was like, what the heck? Why didn't they throw their Night Slash? But I actually have PV Poke open over here. So I could actually, no, forget about it. It's a long video. 3,500 ELO. I hope you guys enjoyed. Honestly, in these 4 sets, I feel like some of our best battles of the GBL season. Just a lot of really unique plays and like waiting for catches, being patient, making catches of our own, and like refusing to throw charge moves so we could farm down and then have a move for like the back Pokemon. Just lots of really cool games in this video. So if you feel like sharing it with a friend, feel free. If you are new here and you enjoyed the content, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. All likes are appreciated. All comments help the YouTube algorithm. And all of that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.